Generosity is a sign that we're truly trusting God as our provider. One of the key marks of someone who knows God as provider is real generosity. That when you know that God is going to provide for you, you know that you can be and you're willing to be and you desire to actually be generous. You see this very clearly in the life of Abraham. Abraham's faith and trust are seen in the fact that he refused to withhold from God the most precious gift in his life, the gift of his son. In fact, in verse 12 of Genesis chapter 22, I'm going to read this for you. Do not lay a hand on the boy, he said. Do not do anything to him. God's saying this now to him. Now I know that you fear God. Notice this statement, because you have not withheld. Please notice that. You have not withheld from me your son, your only son. See, the opposite of giving is withholding. That's exactly what it means to be stingy. The opposite, the exact antonym, we might say, of generosity is to withhold, to hold on to. And God says, Abraham, I've seen this about you. I've seen your faith and I've seen your trust in me as your provider by the fact that you have not withheld. You've been willing to give up to me your son, your only son. That son that you waited 25 years to be born, you've been willing to give it to me. There's been a generosity of spirit. In Hebrews chapter 11, verses 17 through 19, we find some interesting words that I want to read for you because it does describe this faith that Abraham very clearly had. It says, it was by faith that Abraham offered Isaac as a sacrifice when God was testing him. Abraham, who had received God's promises, was ready to sacrifice his only son, Isaac, even though God had told him, Isaac is the son through whom your descendants will be counted. Abraham reasoned that if Isaac died, God was able to bring him back to life again. And in a sense, Abraham did receive his son back from the dead. The point that I want to emphasize here is that Abraham was willing to give. There was a generosity to lay on the altar the very thing that was most precious to him. He did not withhold this precious thing in his life. We know that we're trusting God as our provider, that we're truly trusting Him when we're willing to generously give to God.